Welcome again to another painting session. This is going to be the first of four. I'm just going to turn down the fan. Like I was saying, first of four of panel expansions, maybe expanding of the panels, or whatever. I'm enlarging the panels. From the previous video, gotta have that context. I'm making the panels, 4 of the painting, 1 of each, into a much larger one. And this is the same size as the painting previous, which had the 4 panels. And this is the first one, or will be made to look like the first one. If you have not watched that video, I do advise you to do so, as each of those panels will be expounded upon in their own individual video and painting. And I hope to perfect them the best I can, and the best ways to do so is to make it a bit bigger. I didn't have a lot of space. I only had a bit less than a quarter of what this is to work with. Now I have a much larger piece of paper to now work with. Like, for instance, one of these planets was about the size of this cat. I'll actually bring out the ones I used. So this, actually put into right orientation. So it was on this side. I had the planets in this array, like this. Some might be out of order, or a bit crooked in place, but this is about it. This is what I had to work with. See how small this is? And that also meant I had to do each planet individually with how close they were. With this, I have so much more space. Let me keep these closer together. I have a paint measure here. So here, got like about 2 inches, and it just got added another inch. I think this is the smallest, but still more. I don't really care about this. This is just gonna be a black hole. I'm gonna do this first and have a cap, so I don't have a lid, I don't have to wait. Or this is a lid, I don't have a stencil. I have this, place it on once I think the rims won't be scuffed. So it would take like a few seconds, whereas this would take many minutes. So yeah, that's pretty much it in terms of synopsis. I'll put these stencils away, put this right side up. I plan to do the same colors with some added colors. As I'll have more space, I'll have more space to add new colors. But they'll be in the same color range. Purples is what I'm adding. In the previous one, I only had 1 purple. This one, I have 2 others. I might also bring in lighter red, I don't know. Because I know a lot of flaws of the first panel, what this used to be. I plan to make that better. Some of them it's much too bright on the exterior. When I say exterior, I mean space. When I say interior, I mean the planets. And the interior, much too dark. The planets, too dark. Outside, much too bright. So I plan to correct those issues, to have these a bit lighter and this is much darker, as it should be. Yeah, that's about it. I'm gonna get my gear after I start the time lapse, and I'll get straight to work. Enjoy. And this is the finished product. What should I say about this one? Well, first of all, it's a huge improvement. I'll get that off the bat. I definitely do think this is a much greater improvement, mostly because of the size. There were some things I was thinking about. Things I was thinking about I should implement into this painting, even when I was painting it, like nebula clouds, but I chose against it, as I thought just this was fine, and I think I made the right decision. You may have noticed there was a lot of times in the time lapse I was not doing anything. That's because the hot pink over there, for some reason, had too much pressure in it, and so any cap that I laid on it or set on it busted. The top blew out because there's so much pressure, it broke it. Not the can, but sorry if I drifted a bit down, but the cap, the nozzle. So I eventually had to just spray a ton of it into the trash can to my right, in hopes that it would alleviate the pressure, and it seemed like it did. So I was able to continue through the painting. The same nozzle that broke, well, I think I broke 3 or 4 nozzles, so that took a toll. And they were my best nozzles as well, unfortunately. But I had to, well, I wanted to see, before I get into anything else, I wanted to see what, if it could be a benefit to me, as it turned into, without the tip of the nozzle, into a very high pressure cap. So I plan to put it on my black can and see if it did anything faster. And you may have noticed it was much different. It wasn't as spacious as it was on my previous paintings. It was much more high pressured. It spattered all over the place, but in the center was a very high concentrated area of paint, I'll put it like that, that spread across like much larger area than it would have. And because of that, yes, it did it much faster, but it also laid down a lot of paint faster, a lot of paint. So I also had to wait further, because my purple paint, when I wanted to lay that down, it kept being swept over with the mass of black paint, as it usually does. If you have a lot of a certain coat of paint, then any other top coats over that, if it's still wet, will be, some of it will be submerged under and diluted through. So some do go up through the cracks, as you saw, but it was more sparse than usual, so I had to wait even further. I think I even stopped the video just to make it wait, or yeah, just for me to wait. But yeah, the stars, very few of them. I think that's fine. Comets, I placed them in the right time. Black hole, I think it's the best black hole I've ever made. I'll zoom into it, or just get closer. It's almost seamless how it is. A little bit like comes in, because that was the last part that it was stuck to. But all in all, it is almost flawless, seamless black hole, which I was really aiming for. I thought there was going to be a rim, like there usually is, and I was fine with that. But I was very surprised when it came out that it was not. It was a seamless black hole. The line down the middle also came off pretty well. It's not directly straight, and I think that's fine. Comets, they're right where they need to be. Right thinness. Planets, much brighter than they were in the last iteration. I mean, this planet has a little bit of peel right there, but not that bad. Nothing to be concerned about. Textures are all right. Could be a little bit better, but that might be the biggest issue, is the textures. It might just be because of the type of paint or type of colors. They might not come off that well when mixed together, especially with this one, but it still came off pretty well. This one came off all right. this great, this good as well. This blended a bit too much, but that's fine. It also has a bit too much shade, but I'm not that mad about that. I think, all in all, pretty good. As perfect as I'll get it right now. And I don't think I'm gonna have to revisit this one into a very, very long time, if ever. And with that, I plan to go on to the next panel later, but not right now. I'll take a break. But I hope you have enjoyed the process and product of this painting session as much as I have. And I hope I see you in the next panel painting. The orange one is next. So I hope I will see you there. Bye-bye.